All right, here is the fourth section, which is management and leadership. And so for this section, you're going to conduct an interview. So what you need to do is, let me just back up, I guess. You're going to conduct an interview to assess somebody's leadership style, management style, supervisory style. And if you remember right, we looked back, or if you look back in HM 4555, we talked about the two basic supervisory styles of theory X and theory Y. And so I have the definitions here, but definitely take a look at the your attitude is showing book for further guidance and just to refresh your memory. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to pick a leader from the organization that you're conducting your PPE at, or if you're doing a virtual PPE, talk with Eric and I, and we have a list of individuals you can pick from. Or if you are just interviewing somebody as part of your PPE and they're in a management or supervisory position, you may choose to interview them for this. We don't have many parameters other than the fact that they should be leading, managing, supervising people, okay? So sorry, my nose it is. So the first thing you should do is you should look back in, this should say Brightspace, for HIM 4555 in the Unit 4 management style discussion that we had in class. So your class discussed management and you each developed 2 interview questions, right? So for your interview, you need to actually develop 10 interview questions for an interview with your site mentor or another leader, manager, supervisor within the PPE site about their leadership style. And keep in mind that these interview questions should be designed in a way that allows you to assess their supervisory style, right? So X versus Y. So you may use the questions that you and your classmates developed, or you may develop unique questions based on your experiences at the site or while working with the leader, or even just in general, your own work or personal experiences, okay? And then this section of the report, you want to provide the name and the title of the person you're interviewing. You need to list all of the interview questions. Then you need to provide the leader's responses to the interview questions. You can do this however you want. You can sure list the question and then explain and summarize their response, or you can list all of them and then you can just go into a longer kind of essay summarizing all of the responses. It's totally up to you how you want to lay that out. And then after you're done providing their responses, you should provide an assessment of their supervisory style. So first you want to provide rationale and examples to support your assessment. So if you say that you feel that the person that you interviewed is leans more towards theory X, then why? What was it about that person that made you feel that way? Is it because they answered questions a certain way? What was it? So does the leader have a supervisory style of theory X or theory Y? And then what supervisory traits helped you reach your conclusion? Okay. Then you should create an organization chart where the focus or the detail is on the management staff of the department or the unit. Okay. And this should be a chart of your own creation. Okay. I don't want you to just take and recreate something that they've given you, but as that person is explaining who is at the top of the department and then on down, that's what I want you to take that and transfer that into your own organizational chart. Okay. It should obviously it's going to demonstrate your understanding of the working relationships of managers, supervisors, and leads in the department or unit. And it should be professional in appearance, of course, right? And clearly delineate the hierarchy and the roles of those working in that department. And then management functions. So during the same interview with your site mentor or that other leader, manager, supervisor within the PPE site, discuss the management functions that they perform. Okay, and so to refresh your memory on these functions and the levels of management, I have the page numbers here for the Oaks and Waters textbook. The management functions are planning, organizing, directing, and leading and controlling and, planning, organizing, directing, and leading, and then controlling and evaluating. So those 4. And so depending on their management level, they may or may not be involved with all of those functions. But to conclude this section, you should write a 2 to 3 page double-space essay addressing how involved the leader is, the one that you interviewed, with each of those 4 managerial functions, and then explain why they may be more involved in some functions and not others. So that's the management section. And of course, here's the grading rubric again. So just the first section is actually the interview. So listing the 10 questions, their responses, and then the assessment of their leadership style, and then the organization chart. Okay. And then lastly, the management function essay. So where you address which functions they perform. Okay. All right. And that concludes this section.